About the evacuations now. The center in Diamond Springs was full of people earlier today. Many people were forced out of their homes in the middle of the night, grabbing whatever they could and getting out. Cats, dogs, you name it, stuff, valuables. They were camping in their cars until the dawn broke and they realized how bad it had become. Listen.
You know, you take what you can, and the rest, you know, the boys are here, everything that is living is with us, and there's insurance.
He went on to say this stuff is just stuff and it can be replaced. Another evacuation center has been opened up in Cameron Park. And again, that is where a lot of people went. And that filled up quickly within just minutes.
Yeah, we want to go to Laura Hafley now, live in Cameron Park, where other people are taking shelter tonight. Laura.
Well, the first thing we're going to show you here is just how crowded this parking lot is. You can see cars backed up, waiting to get into spots. The majority, if not all, of the parking spots are taken as people flood into the shelter here in Cameron Park that the American Red Cross has set up for people forced from their homes by the Caldor fire. We've spoken to several people here who are just anxious to get back to those homes, hoping they have homes to go back to. Now, we're about 20 miles west of where that fire is burning, and several families and evacuees are here. Now, just to give you an idea of what the inside of this shelter looks like, obviously we have not been able to bring cameras inside, but there are rows and rows of cots set up for families who need them, and most of those cots are taken. Now, again, the American Red Cross provides things like food and water and simply a place to sleep for anyone who needs it. Of course, the families here hoping eventually they have somewhere to go back to.
We've seen other people experience this, and you go, oh, damn, I feel so bad for them. But you don't really understand it until you go through it. So that's what's happening now. I don't know if we're going to have a house, if we're not, but the most important thing is I have my wife, who I love dearly, and my 2 little kitties.
This has been a day of chaos for the families that we've spoken to, but the sentiment among them is they're safe. They were able to get out and they have the things they need and love the most. Now, the El Dorado County Sheriff's Office says they're throwing all of their resources at evacuations to make sure families get out safely and so they can make room for crews to try to contain this fire. The American Red Cross will keep this Cameron Park shelter open for as long as families need it.
And Laura, has there been any indication about a contingency plan if that location would fill up, where they would go from here? I know you've also seen people just stepping up, offering their own generosity to help some of the victims there.
It's absolutely been a community effort. I mean, there's people showing up every minute offering food and food for animals and water. So definitely a community effort. As for your question about the shelter, right now the American Red Cross is all hands on deck here. There has not been mention of additional shelters opening, but the American Red Cross is really good at this. If they need to open another shelter, if families need a place to go, they'll do it.
One more quick question, Laura. Are you seeing just a lot of older people, families, a mix?
You know, it's a mix of people. We've certainly seen a lot of elderly couples, but there's families here with little kids. We spoke to a mom who was here with her 2 little boys, one 7 years old and the other around 3 years old. And she says it was really tough taking them away from their home and then having to explain it to them, right? How do you explain that to a kid? So just a lot of different families and couples and people here. But again, everyone with the same sort of sentiment, which is that they're here and they're safe and they're together.
All right, Laura. Thank you for that live in Cameron Park. Now,